Okay, so this one is like an extra whatever. I recently did like almost like a Q&A again, because this is me. When I start to notice that a lot of stuff, it keeps showing itself over and over and over again to me. I keep hearing it, people are whispering about it, it comes up to my notice. I try to address it. Do you understand? Especially when I have more meat on my bones, I try to address it. And I mentioned in a lot of Q&As and a lot of videos here on YouTube that I can't be addressing everything at all times, because I'm like, bruh, some of you guys, you will provoke me and provoke situation on purpose just to try to stay relevant, you know, because you want somebody to pick up a camera and do a whole YouTube video so you can feel seen and heard. Oh my God, it struck her, like, you know, she got affected by what I did and said. And that little will give you that kind of dopamine or whatever you feel, substance, whatever you feel that you need. So I'm like, I'm not gonna address everything, because I can see sometimes different from people just cloud surfing, and people genuinely like, I need to know something because I'm trying to help a collective, you and a collective, to solve a mystery or whatever. Anyhow, so I recorded a few days ago. It was almost an hour long. It was like 6 questions or something that I went through. And I have been watching this, and I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to upload it. I don't even want to upload it because I feel like most of the stuff that I was talking about, like if you really use your common sense and you go back to my previous videos, you will see that I have somewhat, if not totally, answered these questions before. So I don't feel like I need to do like a upgraded version or something. Like if I'm gonna do a Q&A in the future, then it's gonna be something like totally new. But if it's the same topic, then it's because I have more information now, so I can talk about it differently. That's it. But sitting here and keep repeating myself, I'm not gonna do that. We don't have time for that. But I'm just gonna mention a few that I was talking about. Number 1, odeur. You know, this smell, like somebody having a bad smell, somebody being me, that this is something that has been going on for a while, where people are just, they don't even smell me, they don't even do the test to figure out if it's true. Like as soon as you come, I can literally be coming out of the shower and I have my expensive perfume and all of this, and these people would start to, oh, it's the smelly one, you know? Very childish, very rude. But I have answered this, and I don't feel like I need to answer that again. Do you understand? And yeah, when it comes to smell, odors, like it has been used so much, it has been weaponized so much that it's not even useful anymore. Let me give you some examples. When I grew up, especially here in Sweden, that part of the neighborhood, I don't know other cities how they spoke or whatever, but I know that we, like that generation, when we wanted to diss somebody, we used to say, your mother smells like curry. Do you understand? So that was basically, it was equivalent to saying that, yeah, like your mama, you know, almost the same level as the N-word. If somebody said, your mother smells like curry, the mama looked like curry. And let's take Somali people. Somali people, they have a specific smell them too. And this smell, like I had friends all over the world growing up, and I remember going to their place, going home to them, seeing when their parents was cooking food. And I'm telling you, most ethnic households, like food, it takes days, hours, sometimes, you know, it takes a long time to prepare some of these dishes. And it is strong seasoning and all of this stuff. So I understood, like, damn, okay, so that smell is nothing like physically with them. It's literally their food. You know, somebody has been home cooking and the whole house smells like that. So I understood that, but it's other people that didn't. So they used to always talk about Somali people, how they smell. Let's not talk about the Caucasian community. You know, if you heard that phrase, you smell like wet dog. Do you understand? Like that was one way to say, yeah, that Caucasian people had a bad smell to them. Do you understand? It's been talk about somebody that I used to date before, you know, like, or barely dated, like a situationship, you know, from a nightmare situationship. That's what I want to call it. Yeah. Jesus Christ, it was almost a decade ago. Do you understand? This guy and his family, you guys don't understand the level of toxic that these people are on. I mean, in the future, if anybody want me to really sit down and talk about everything that happened, you know, because I've seen some stuff where people are trying to make it seem like, yeah, but you told him that you had options. Like, you wanted to make sure that he knew that blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bruh, do you want to know why I even mentioned that? Huh? How he was running back and forth to his ex, how he was talking about his ex constantly to me. And as soon as you mentioned like something about black girl problems or black girls issues, he was very anti-directly. I'm telling you, like, I can go into this, but I don't want to. You understand? And a self-hating Uncle Tom Jigaboo. That's all I have to say. I have nothing positive to say about him. And his mother, I don't remember, but I think I was talking about something that I know that I don't look my age. And I was talking about that me personally, I don't find it like, it's not a compliment. Not yet. Maybe in 10, 15 years or something, it might be a compliment. But I was talking about all the disadvantages with looking younger than you are. That you have like small broads coming up to you thinking that they can talk to you any type of way because they think you are similar in age and all of this stuff. And it's like, boo-boo, I could almost be your mother. If I got you early, like when I went to high school, you could have been my daughter, you know? So, huh? And you have to like, when you search for jobs, like, and it's time to talk about the salary and stuff like that, they want to put you in the same rank as somebody that just graduated high school. Do you understand? And you have to really show them like, no, I've been in the workforce for decades. Here are my credentials. Here is the year when I'm born. Do you understand? So, nah. Now I remember. Number 4 was that I know that I have been talking a lot about discrimination, ableism, sexism, racism especially, all of the isms, or not all of them, but do you understand? I have been talking about it a lot on this channel, but I haven't talked about the other side of the coin. When you are a black girl living in a predominantly white space as Europe, but you experience hate from your own people, like other African people, like they don't fuck with you like that. Like they throw you under the bus for whatever. They, oh God, like you go through xenophobia basically with your own people. And you have to prove yourself that you are African. Okay, do you know your national anthem? Do you know your flag? Do you know which this and that? Do you know the language? And if you don't know some of this stuff, like they will have the little boxes, check, 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 check. If you don't know it, then you're not African enough. You're not black enough. I have talked, like, I talked about this in that video. And I said, this is one of the reasons why I felt like the people that I could best get along with was people that was adopted. Because on the outside, they look like something. But the behaviors and everything is socially constructed by how they live and what kind of surrounding they have, you know? And most of the time I've seen that they kind of go through the same thing where people feel like they are being two-faced, they are being fake, they are tap dancing for the white community. Do you understand? And all of this stuff. And it's like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, you can't win. Anyway, you can't win. You cannot win. So I want to have this topic. I really want to have this topic, but I want to invite somebody else that is also of a foreign descent or have something like that, or black or whatever, and just talk about it, because it is a lot of people that feel this way. I have noticed. It's a lot of, and it's either that you become very like, oh, I need to prove that I'm African and all of this, and you become almost too much. Do you understand? Or you become like some of the acquaintances that I had, still have, that will be basically tap dancing for every other community. Do you understand? Like, you will talk about some black issues with them, and they will, I have one of these people here in Stockholm. As soon as I mention racial anything, this person is black as well. They will start yawning like, oh, not again. Do you understand? I know the reason why this person is like that. And it has to do a lot with, I heard somebody talk about this, like, you have foreign parents that have been going through hell and hot water, and they have this kind of gratitude feeling towards, we had the opportunity to come here and better our lives. They don't see themselves as, I worked for this, I deserve this. They don't have that mentality like they deserve. They have the lack of, like, thank you, massa, almost that. This is the kind of acquaintance that I have over here. So do you understand? Basically a fucking coconut. I'm not kidding with you. Anyways, and also have in mind that I'm a private citizen. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not getting paid for this. Maybe in an alternate universe, I'm having deals and collaborations and millions and billions and all of this. Do you understand? But from here, right now, this 3D and all of it, I still have to work at 9 to 5. I still have to go to school to get a degree and all of this stuff. Do you understand? I still have to hustle and live in a neighborhood that most of these people, they can't stand me, I can't stand them either, but I can't afford to move, even though I really want to. Do you understand? I had this conversation with an acquaintance of mine, and I was literally saying that I feel like behind the scenes in an alternate universe, a lot of good stuff is happening when it comes to me, A lot of good stuff is probably like unfolding itself. And I'm getting the hate, the jealousy of that in this form. Like, I'm not experiencing the good stuff. I'm not. Like, and these people around me, they know, they see it. But as soon as I get just a micro, nano, little of it, then all of a sudden they are in my business, like, oh, we need to stop this. So I know I have a lot of people around me that will mask themselves as friends, as acquaintances, but this will be the first people to try to make sure that I never reach that, because they know that it's a possibility that my whole life can do 180. I know it. So that's why I'm a little bit cautious now when it comes to everything. Who I talk to, what I say to who, all of it. It's sad, but, people are literally angry and jealous of your potential. Oof. Okay, so it's been a lot of small mini violins on this page lately, and this is not how I wanted my page to turn out initially. Destiny, I guess. Anyhow, I feel like I have addressed a lot of gossips, a lot of slanders, a lot of misinformations about me, my being, this whole journey of mine. Like, I feel like I have addressed most of it. And if anybody's watching this right now and feel like I haven't, or something else might show up in the future, because people love talking, so you will hear new stuff. I would suggest that you use your common sense, first of all. When you hear stuff about somebody else that you don't know, use your common sense. Ask yourself, who is telling this? Why are they telling this? Do the person in question know about this? And so on and so forth. Use your common sense. But if you want an answer from me when it comes to that topic, I would suggest that you go back to my old videos here on YouTube. I have a feeling that people have not seen all of my videos because I still have to address a lot of stuff that I already had addressed. Do you understand? So make sure that you watch my previous videos if they're still up here, and basically take the information from that and try to make sense out of it. Because I'm not that complicated. Do you understand? I'm very, very simple like that. Anyhow, so most people know by now that this so-called journey that I'm on, this life path, whatever you want to call it, has not been an easy one. It's been a lot of downs, a lot of hells, and not so much back. Do you understand? And I have been addressing a little bit of it, like a nano level of all the fuck shit that I have been encountering because of this nonsense. But believe it or not, To every rainy day, there is sunshine, a rainbow. To every winter, there's warmth. To every, do you understand? To every yin is a yang, and so on and so forth. So basically, like, I'm trying to find the gold corn, so whatever you call it, like the fun stuff, the good stuff, the something, you know, with this whole situation, because it has been like a spark of it. And sometimes I can find myself sitting on the bus, the train, or whatever, and just reminiscing, just thinking about this stuff that has been happening, and I just burst out laughing, you know? So if you ever see me, like, this is just me having like a trailer or whatever going on in my head. I don't even know where to start. I think I have, it's like 5 or 6, because I go so much into details. So I'm like, just let me start with like 5 or 6 stuff that has been happening like simultaneously with all this fuck shit that I see, like, that I find like a little bit humoristic, you know? Okay, so number 1, whenever we are talking about my father, I have noticed that some people, they get very, like, I don't want to use the word weird, but they get very, like, different as soon as I mention my father. And they have this, oh, so how's your father? How does he look? When was the last time you met him? Do you understand? Like, it's, I don't know how to explain it, but it has happened so many times by different people that I started to understand that these people, they don't think that I'm talking about like a human father, like a human being my actual father. They are thinking that I'm talking about like some kind of creator, God. You understand? And I'm like, okay, if you have that philosophical thinking, all of us, more or less, have the creator as a so-called parent. Because me, myself, I believe that the Most High is a more feminine energy. I believe the Most High is a woman. Maybe I will do a video about this in the future, we'll see. But it's very interesting. It's a lot of religions, a lot of beliefs that actually do believe this as well. Believe it or not. No, so I'm just gonna give some examples. Like, I remember this guy, I think he was Nigerian. It was during my homelessness. Let me just tell you, when you are homeless, you meet so many different people. Like, you go through so many different events. From when you wake up to you go to sleep, it is constantly just like a sitcom. It's crazy, I'm not kidding with you. Anyhow, but this guy, I met him during my homelessness, and let me just tell you, we were sitting by a park bench and we were talking, and we came into like parents and stuff like that, and I was sharing like some stories, and we started to talk about my father. And I said like, okay, so my temperament, like, I don't have that as much right now as I did when I was younger, but I could get really angry, like it's totally black, you know, and nobody can stop me. Do you understand? Like, furious. And I'm like, okay, so that kind of temper, that comes from my father. You understand? I even had my uncles back in Africa when I met them, and I got like an outburst. They were like, oh, she reminds us so much of her father, you know? And I was just like, okay, whatever. So anyhow, when I was sitting talking about my father, you should have seen how his eyes lit up, bro. Like, he was actually thinking that, I didn't understand it back then because I was homeless. I had 99 problems. Like, I'm not sitting here and dissecting you and your facial expressions and everything. But later on, when you have time and you go back and everything, you see it from the outside in, you're like, bro, this guy, he didn't understand that I was talking about like a real physical human being, like my father, you know? I wasn't talking about the Most High. I don't know anything. I don't know the looks, the sound, the smell, the gender, the nothing. Like you guys, like most of us. Anyhow, this happened actually recently. Like, this was a few days ago. He was a homeless man that helped me carry like some bags and stuff like that. And we were starting to talk about the motherland and all of this stuff. And you should have seen his eyes, bro. I'm not kidding with you. Like, I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't. But yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool. Like, and it would explain a lot of stuff. No. Anyways. Okay, so this is another example. This was when I was in South Africa. Bruh, I'm telling you, like I said in many videos, I was there for 1.5, almost 2 months. A lot of stuff happened down there. Like, I feel like I should have done like a whole podcast about that, but never mind. Okay, so you know that they have a lot of like Indian descent that lives in South Africa. I have said this in many videos, and it's a little bit, it's a whole nother discussion. They are Africans, South Africans, but they still don't see themselves as Africans like that. Very colorist, very like caste system, but now over there. Do you understand? Messy. Anyhow, so long story short, me, I'm not religious, like I said. I'm not even spiritual like that, but I'm interested, and it's like a museum. I go to different temples, churches, just to learn more. So I went to this, I think like Hare Krishna, these people, they had like a temple or something. So I just went there just to see, walk around and, all of this stuff. And the guy that was like the tour guide or whatever, or not tour guide, like maybe he was some kind of priest or whatever you call it. Like a master, I don't know what kind of word they use, but like equivalent to priest. So anyhow, he started to tell me a little bit when I was inside, and then all of a sudden he stopped and he was like, but I bet you already know everything, huh? I don't think you need my help. Just let me know if you need something. Like, the way that I was like, oh, this has happened so many times. Like, I feel like people either overestimate or underestimate my knowledge, my IQ level, my intelligence. Like, there's no in between. Either they think that I'm super intelligent and knowledgeable and know a lot of stuff, and basically don't want to help me then, because they're like, we know that you know. Or they get very like, this one is stupid, oh God, we need to help her, even with the smallest stuff, like basic ass stuff. So I'm like, bruv, come on, huh? Oh God. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday and I was laughing for myself because, when I graduated high school, I didn't have enough grades. Like, my grades wasn't good enough to just directly go to university, So I had to go to something called after school program and basically like fix some of the subjects, fix my grades so I could get my points and all of this. So anyhow, I met this guy and he was studying at university then. I'm not gonna say which program he was studying because that would just, I'm not trying to be sued or anything because this family is weird and sketchy as a motherfucker, This guy, he was studying something that most people would consider complex, hard or whatever, And I remember that Oh God. I remember that he had like, he was about to graduate soon, and he had something that he needed help with, and he was at my place and he was talking about this. Like, this was, I'm telling you, this was like math, physics kind of, do you understand? And me, I'm going on an after school program, learning like basic math, basic physics still, Anyhow, and he started to talk about this, whatever, assignment that he had, And he was looking at me because I took the paper and I was looking at it and it was like hieroglyphs for me. I was like, what the fuck? Like matrix code. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this? And he actually thought, bruh, that I could help him, And in that moment, I didn't think about it that much. I thought that he was just flaunting or something like that. Like, oh, look at me, how smart I am. You don't know this, huh? I thought that it was something like he was trying to show off. But now, years later, I'm just like, this guy, he knew what was going on. He knew who I was. He knew what I was connected to and all of this stuff. No matter whatever he said to anybody else, he knew. And he was so like, bruh, he was one of these idiots that thought that I was not an idiot. I'm not the only one that have gone through this. I bet I'm not the only one. You know, when I started to understand that I was part of the pretty people all of a sudden, because growing up, I had always been the funny, goofy friend, you understand? Like your friends, they get their boyfriends and all of this. I was like a late bloomer when it came to everything. I'm still a late bloomer. You know, so when I started to understand how people were looking at me was different. I was not used to the looks, I was not used to the stares, and it was just, oh my God. I couldn't put two and two together. Anyhow, but people were never like verbal like that. Very seldom. It was almost like they just assumed, oh, but she know that she looks good, you know, I don't want to gas her up even more. So they just skipped me, you know, and didn't give me compliments. It could be everybody from friends, acquaintances, to lover, like interest. It's crazy. I'm not kidding with you. So this is why I wanted to do a video about pretty disadvantages. A lot of people don't understand that exists, you know. Anyhow, so when I started to understand that, bro, you were one of the so-called pretty ones now. It's like, okay, so this was back in Canada. I met a couple of nurses. We were gonna do some checks, some tests or whatever. And these nurses, they were so starstruck. I'm not kidding with you. You know, like when you can see the eyeballs become bigger, that's a sign when somebody's like interested, you know, like when they're very focused, you know. If you see somebody that is infatuated with somebody or in love with somebody, the pupils dilate, you know. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking to these two nurses, and they start to ask me a lot of questions, and then they ask me, do you have a brother? And I said, yes, I do have a brother. And you should have seen how they like, oh God, I'm telling you, eyes don't lie, bro. Vato. The answer is in the eyes, or whatever he said. Like, I'm not kidding with you. They were like, wee, you know? And I explained to them, like, okay, but that brother is 8 years younger than me. And this nurses was like my age, a little bit older maybe, you know. So you saw how their face went from, ooh, there is a brother, to, oh, but he's 8 years younger. So in that moment, I was like, because I know myself, when I have met somebody that I find like attractive or something, and something is like either they are already in a relationship or they have another sexual orientation, or, you know, something else, you know, that makes it like we could never be a thing, you know. And I'm looking at them and I'm just like, oh, darn, like, imagine if you had like a brother. So I would just ask that. And this is a compliment. This is literally like, you fine? Do you have that? But like in another prototype, another size, age, gender, do you understand? Oh, I thought it was hilarious. I really thought it was hilarious. But now thinking about it, a few years later, of course, I think these people were talking about this so-called spiritual thing, maybe. Do you understand? Not so much like my physical brother, because I have a physical brother. We share the same mother, but we have different fathers. So the thing is, like, we don't look like each other at all. At all. The only thing that we have in common is like small stuff when it comes to personality. We have the same laughter, very like Evel Knievel laughter, like, ah, you know? I noticed that he has the same. This one is funny. Oh God. You know, growing up, my mother, she never put her hands on me. And I know there will be some people out there thinking like, she should have, maybe your ass would have been this, maybe your ass would have been that, you know? Should have put some sense back into you, whatever. And I'm just saying, okay, when it came to my mother, she never put her hands on me. She was a typical African woman talking about, I'm not your friend. Don't talk to me like I'm your friend. And you know, all of this typical stuff. So a lot of this content that I see online when people make fun of how their parents have been, even if I didn't grow up with her for so many years, I can still recall this stuff. Do you understand? Like, yes. I remember stuff like me jumping on the bed and stuff like that. And she, for the first time, she trying to threaten me that she was gonna beat me. And I looked at her like, for real? And she looked at me back and we started to laugh because like she knew like, oh God, my daughter understand now that, you know, it's not gonna happen. Like I'm never gonna put my hands on her. Anyhow, so long story short, growing up, I had a friend that was Gambian. We were very close because her dad and my auntie and mother, everybody knew each other, you know? So it wasn't like a friend like that. It was almost like a cousin, you can say. We grew up with each other. And I remember her father, typical Gambian man. And this was Halloween. So me and my friend, we used to go out and party a lot. We used to go out to the clubs and all of this stuff. And she was like 2 years older than me or something. So I sometimes took her ID and, you know, snuck into the nightclubs and whatever. Long story short, Chaga. Chaga means hooker, basically, in Wolof or even Mandinka, I think. Yeah. So her father saw like, you know, we had dressed up, you know, like a sexy devil, sexy angel, sexy nurse, whatever we were. And her father passed by and saw this and he got a meltdown. He was like, hey, Chaga, dingo, Chaga, da 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 da. And he started to yell, da 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 da. He was furious because this is a religious man, you know? Like really, like he works, he does his thing, he's respected in the community, all of this. And he sees his daughter and me being like some kind of sister's, daughter's, cousin, whatever. And he started to yell. And I'm sitting there watching and listening to this, thinking that I was unaffected, you know? And then he started to yell at me and said, just because you're not my daughter like that, you don't think that I'm gonna, you know, you guys cannot go out like that. You are embarrassing yourself, da 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 da. He started to yell at me too. So my friend started to laugh because she was like, you thought you were excluded from this, huh? And I remember when he yelled, I smiled because I was like, bruh, for me, this was a man that cared. Do you understand? Like, this was a man that cared. Like, he could have been like, I don't give a fuck about you. You're not my kid. I have nothing to do with your upbringing or life or anything like that. So if you want to go out and embarrass yourself dressed like that, fine, do it. Do you understand? But he was furious. He was yelling at me like he was yelling at his own daughter. And I was just starstruck, just like, wow, somebody cares about me. Do you understand? I don't know. But I thought it was funny. Other funny stuff that has happened, or funny stuff, stuff that you can like, I don't know, laugh about afterwards when it comes to this whole situation is that, you know, I have this tendency to zoom out, you know, my eyes, like I'm here, but I'm not really here, you know, and this happens especially like if I'm on public transport and I have my headphones or whatever. I'm into the music so much, or I'm like thinking about something else, you know, coming up with content or just reminiscing about something, you know, but I'm not like always here, like sitting there like some people just watching everybody, you know. I'm like, you guys, why you do that, bruh? Why you do that? It's uncomfortable for everybody, huh? Like, read a book, be on your phone, watch outside the window, I don't know, anything. But just sitting there like for 40-45 minutes, just staring at people, you know, this and that, is all. And when you catch these people, because sometimes I do, like I say, I zone out. And I don't know how I look, but apparently I look like a zombie. Do you understand? And a lot of people have made this a thing lately, to be like, as soon as I come, oh, it's the zombie. It's the one with dead eyes, you know, it's the robot. And it's like, oh, goodness gracious. You know that they have medical terms, medical reasons for why some people are like that, right? It can be everything from trauma to PTSD to just like some disabilities and stress and all of this stuff, you know, that can make people just go, do you understand? When you've seen more than most people will ever do in their lifetime, it will affect your outer somehow, but these people don't understand that. Anyhow, in these cases, it's just me like rewiring my brain from times to times, you know, just thinking about something else or whatever. And I have seen people like look at me and almost cry, you know, or tears. I'm not exaggerating right now. Like this literally happened just a few months ago or something. I was on the train, and this happens a lot when I'm on my phone. I notice as soon as I'm on my phone and I look down, I don't know what happens. Like I look like this. Do you understand? And I started to watch other people to see like, is this something common? And then I'm like, yeah, but everybody kind of look a little bit weird, you know, when they look down on their phone. Like the only time they don't look weird is they look down enough that you don't, like it looks like the eyes are closed. That's the only time it doesn't look weird. But if you actually look at somebody that's on their phone, I would say over 70-80% look a little bit weird. But anyhow, as soon as I look up, I get eye contact with these people and I see how they look at me like I'm some kind of, what do you call this, NPC kind of something, you know? Bruh. At the moment when it happened, it was irritating, of course, I'm not gonna lie, but thinking about it afterwards is almost a little bit hilarious, you know, because it's like, wow, people are so invested in you, huh? So invested, and you guys are trying to, some, not you, all of you, some have trying to make it seem like I have social anxiety, talking about, oh, you have social anxiety. It's like, no. Do you know what I have? I have people minding my business anxiety. That's what I have. Like, I have been traveling all over the world by myself, and I do stuff by myself. I go to restaurants by myself. I go to the beach. I meet new people. I'm very semi-extroverted as soon as I'm abroad, you know? No problem starting a conversation, anything like that. So I'm just like, no. I don't have a social anxiety. But when you are one person, and you are a person that can feel and sense your environment, and you are in this very abnormal, surreal situation, and you have no training, you understand? No public speaking training, no nothing like that. You're just a regular diggler schmegler person that went from being unseen to overseen, like that. And now you're sitting on a bus, train or something on your way to school, work, or whatever, and you have a bunch of people just sitting watching you like you some kind of freak or whatever. Do you understand? Like anybody in my situation would show some kind of signs of social anxiety, of course. But it's like, you can't put that diagnosis on me because you need to see what is what is making this happen. Is this events that is happening, is this normal? No, it's not. Okay, so how are we gonna label somebody for something that they react on that is very abnormal? And yes, I get it. I can get a driver's license. I can work, I can save money, I can get a driver's license just to get away from all of this. But if you guys understood that this is all over society, I go to the grocery store and buy food. Same bullshit. Public transport, like I said, same bullshit. School, work, huh? Airport. It is everywhere. So what am I gonna do? And as soon as I'm like, okay, it's too much impressions, it's too much of everything, let me just be at home for a while. And I will maybe stay home like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, not do anything, just be here by myself, creating content, just being me, basically. And then all of a sudden you will hear, oh, this person have no social skills, they have social anxiety and ta. And it's like, bruh, if you're not a person that likes attention like that, especially that magnitude, and you're not used to it, and you don't even know why you're getting all of it, you would be tired eventually too, bruh. People being all around you, whispering, dazzling, and talking, and do you understand, bruh? Give me a break. Anyhow, back to this. So these are just a few of the so-called funny stuff that has been happening. And the reason why it's so called that I can laugh about it right now is because I have a little bit more meat on my bones. I know I keep using these words. I need to do like a dictionary with all the words that I overuse. And it's like, it is a lot of them. No, but no, I think it's funny. I think it's funny because like after a while you get more meat on your bones and you connect the dots. And when you start to connect the dots and understand that these people, they're not talking to you per se at the moment, you know, whenever whatever happened, they are talking to whatever they think. Do you understand? And you start to understand that you are just like, I don't know, you are a shield almost, and it's something else behind you. I don't know. It makes it funny. It makes it funny. And it makes me realize that a lot of you guys, even the ones that are really religious and all of this stuff, you have no clue about what's going on. You have no clue. And I remember I had put so much faith in your hands, you know, especially when I was homeless and all of this. I was literally acting like a robot, you know, because I was just like, okay, somebody point, go there, I went there. Somebody, do you understand? Almost like no free will at all. And I'm starting to understand, like, bruh, how can these people help you when they can't even see the difference? You know? Like, small stuff like that. A lot of you guys don't know what's going on. You really don't.